Blackstone Audio presents
The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom with John and Elizabeth Sherrill. Preface. When we were doing the research for God's Smuggler, a name kept cropping up, Corrie ten Boom. This Dutch lady, in her mid-70s when we first began to hear of her, was Brother Andrew's favourite travelling companion. Brother Andrew is a missionary behind the Iron Curtain. His fascinating stories about her in Vietnam, where she had earned that most honourable title, Double Old Grandmother, and in a dozen other communist countries, came to mind so often that we finally had to hold up our hands to stop his flow of reminiscence. We could never fit her into the book, we said. She sounds like a book in herself. It's the sort of thing you say, not meaning anything. It was in May 1968 that we attended a church service in Germany. A man was speaking about his experiences in a Nazi concentration camp. His face told the story more eloquently than his words. Pain-haunted eyes, shaking hands that could not forget. He was followed at the lectern by a white-haired woman, broad of frame and sensible of shoe, with a face that radiated love, peace, joy. But the story that these two people were relating was the same. She, too, had been in a concentration camp, seen the same savagery, suffered the same losses. His response was easy to understand, but hers? We stayed behind to talk with her, and as we did, we realized that we were meeting Andrew's Corrie. Cornelia ten Boom's worldwide ministry of comfort and counsel had begun there in the concentration camp, where she had found, as the prophet Isaiah promised, a hiding place from the wind, a covert from the tempest, the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. On subsequent visits we got to know this amazing woman well. Together we visited the crooked little Dutch house, 1 room wide, where till her 50s she lived the uneventful life of a spinster watchmaker, little dreaming, as she cared for her older sister and their elderly father, that a world of high adventure lay just around the corner. We went to the garden in South Holland, where young Corrie gave her heart away forever, to the big brick house in Harlem, where Pickwick served real coffee in the middle of the war. And all the while we had the extraordinary feeling that we were not looking into the past, but into the future, as though these people and places were speaking to us not about things that had already happened, but about the world that lay ahead of us in the 1970s. Already we found ourselves actually putting into practice how-tos we learned from her about handling separation, getting along with less, security in the midst of insecurity, forgiveness, how God can use weakness, faith.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?